So let's talk about the teachers. In the school, there are basically two types of teachers. Those who are dedicated to the artistic specialties and those dedicated to academics. And well, from what I have observed, there's not a lot of interaction between these groups. In fact, there are two teachers' rooms. In one of them, there's a clear division. There's actually separate spaces, even though it's just one room, for those dedicated to the arts and those dedicated to academics. And there's another one for another kind of arts. I'm not sure if it's plastic arts or whatnot, but yeah, there's this definite division. Um, and I actually saw this because I asked my mentor whether it would be possible to observe one class for the entire day, since the educational system here is different from what I experienced in Canada. In Canada, we would each go to our own classes on our own schedules, and the teachers stayed in their rooms. Here it's the opposite. There's one group, and the teachers come to the students. Um, each has its pros and cons, but when I asked to observe a group, she was like, okay, I'll arrange it so that you can do it on a day when it's purely academics. I'm like, okay, but would it also be possible to um, observe some of the uh, artistic specialty classes? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I will have to talk with those teachers. And it's not a common thing. So I did end up observing one of those classes. When I got to chatting with one of them, I told her about my interest, and she's like, "Oh, come to mine." I'm like, "Perfect." So we arranged for that, and so we did. Um, the teachers in general are great. They are all very happy to be there because it's a privileged situation. The students are more dedicated. They all have to choose to be there, and their families have to support their choices to be there. So you don't have those conflicts of whether the student doesn't want to go there or whether the family wants the student to join the family business and leave school, or maybe they don't want them to go to university. All these things that can happen are not, well, in some other situations, don't happen here, since it's a conscious choice both on the student's behalf and the parents' behalf. And also, yeah, it's a great learning experience, and they all really work to make things work. They try hard to make things work the best they can. They are uh, lacking in resources. It is a public institution, so there isn't always enough money for everything that they need, but they do what they can. And having said this, the fact that the teachers are happy to be there, I did see a wide range of attitudes. Some teachers were more mm, happy and go lucky and encouraging. Others were uh, grumpy, would be a nice way to say it. I saw one case where a teacher had to substitute, and substitutions here are a little bit different. If the teacher just cancels, the substitute just basically watches over the class while they do some assigned work on their own, like self study. But yeah, one of those teachers that I saw do this was very short tempered. Uh, and I would not encourage that kind of behavior, but to each his own. And I don't know what she's like in her actual classes. So it's possible that that day was a one off or something had happened, and we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Um, they all speak Catalan, following the norms. The only exception, obviously, is the Castellano teacher, since it's his job to teach Spanish, and so it has to be in Spanish. Uh, and yeah, the language teachers obviously speak the language they are teaching, but they also speak Catalan for when instructions or clarifications are necessary. They meet once a week. Well, there are two types of meetings that the teachers have. There's the level meetings where teachers of a specific grade will meet and discuss all the students in that grade, if they're having problems, how they're progressing. And personally, I believe these meetings are very good because students aren't always the same person in different classes based on their interests, how engaged they are, or even how they get along with the teacher. Sometimes someone just rubs you the wrong way and you don't react well with that. And that's fair, especially with teenagers as they are growing and developing emotionally and psychologically. So they don't always know how best to handle these kinds of situations. But anyways, due to the fact that they meet and discuss all these students, you can see how they have different perspectives and different takes on the same students. And one hopes that by sharing these observations, these different observations, they can have a less biased view of the students and a more complete understanding of each of them. The other meetings that they have once a week are the ones for tutoria or homeroom. The different homeroom teachers for the same grade meet and again discuss similar issues, although in this case more focused on the students and less on the academics. And they also organize things like outings, the year-end project, their community service, and also questionnaires in which seek to look into bullying and the dynamics of the students. So this way, the teachers are always, hopefully, up to date and aware of what is happening with their students, or at least as much as they can be, being teachers. As we all know, they don't always know what's happening with students because they can be, well, they view us as separate people and not part of the social group, which is as it should be. But as such, they don't always confide everything.